Hey, what's going on, guys? GameStradamus here with Josh Olin, and he is the community director on Treyarch's brand new up-and-coming Call of Duty game, Call of Duty Black Ops. Now, Josh, can you tell us a little bit about the history built about this game? What time period does it take place in?
Sure, yeah. It's going to take place during the Cold War era. We're going to take you to a number of hotspots around the globe that took place during that time. We're not going to tell you, though, you're not fighting those wars, you're not fighting those conflicts. They're used as a historical backdrop. You're really there fighting these covert missions, these deniable operations that these Black Ops teams, CIA sanctioned, of course, went on throughout the world. And so, this is the stuff you didn't read in the history books. This is, and it's really provided us, as game creators, the opportunity to use a number of this great variety of weapons, unconventional weaponry, vehicles, tactics, you name it, locales. It's such a rich, ripe genre and era that hasn't been covered before in the Call of Duty franchise and really hasn't been covered sufficiently in shooters in general.
So are these Black Ops missions, are they completely fictional, or are they somewhat based on historical stuff that was going on?
Our story is 100% fictional. It's original. It's a very gripping plot where we're focusing a lot of effort on that. But it's inspired by true stories. We spoke to Major John Plaster. He's formerly of SOG. He was actually in the Studies and Observations group. It also stands for Special Operations Group. They didn't just study and observe. They actually did a lot more than that. So, these are the guys, these are the badasses on the ground who are carrying out these covert missions, and they're the best of the best. They graduated top of their class. They were selected to be in the Green Berets. Of the Green Berets, they're the ones that survived a bunch of missions and were the best of the best there. And those are the people who got into SOG. Like, that's how an elite of a fighting force this is. So he got to come in the studio, talk to us. He told us some stories about some of the missions he went on. Unbelievable stuff. And to think that these guys actually did this shit, unreal. And then as game creators, we're like, that's going to be fun to play for sure. Yeah. And even some of the stuff he told us about was so unbelievable. We're like, we can't even put it in a game. No one will believe it. They're just going to flame us for making an unrealistic game. So it's like, yeah, that's how these guys are the real deals. So we got to talk to them when we were creating the game.
Awesome. And your initial preview of the game, it was kind of a flashback that was happening. This guy's on this kind of medical bed that's going on. He's flashing back. Is that kind of what's happening? Like, it's in the future and there's these flashbacks from like one of the main characters that's going on?
I don't want to spoil the game for you, but I can confirm that the trailers we've released, they are absolutely giving you little hints of what our story is all about. You should probably be paying attention to those trailers.
Right. And I watched an amazing helicopter scene in your demo in there. Can you talk about some of the vehicles you have in this game? Are you going to put them in multiplayer at all or anything like that?
The vehicles, so right, the level you're talking about is called Payback. And basically your team is on the ground in Laos, so, the border regions in Vietnam, and they're investigating possible Soviet activity down there. And the history books, technically they'll say, oh, they were never there, but we talked to these vets and they're like, they absolutely were there. They're like, we saw Soviets, we saw these packages coming in with Russian labels on them and stuff. These guys were the ones who were on the ground and they could verify they were absolutely there. So in our story, you wind up finding that. And there's a really bad guy, his name's Kravchenko. He's one of the main antagonists in the game. He's kind of put your team through hell. So what you do is you want to seek some revenge, basically. So you take control of this Hind helicopter, you rain hell from above, and it's a fully controllable helicopter. And a lot of people, they saw the footage and they think that it's on rails. And typically a level like that in a shooter would be on rails because it's just so much action and so much intensity, and it's a very cinematic sequence, right?
Yeah.
But no, ours is not. You're fully controlling the helicopter with the thumbsticks, you're shooting with the triggers, and it's so intuitive. It's not a flight sim, so the controls are so intuitive that a Call of Duty gamer is going to pick it up and just love it.
Right.
So that's one of the vehicles in the game. and we were also in the SR-71 Blackbird and the other level we showed you. There's more to the single player campaign that I can't reveal to you. As for multiplayer, we're not ready to reveal that yet either. I can say though, and we've said this in some other articles as well, we confirmed that there's a vehicle component to multiplayer that it's unlike anything we've ever done, and I don't think you guys are going to see it coming. So that's
awesome.
What I can tell
So you can't talk about any multiplayer at all, weapons, what's going on with that, how the kill streaks are this time around.
I can tell you a little bit about multiplayer. What I can tell you is that we're making a huge emphasis on player customization and personalization, and also socialization. So especially the first-person gamer, we know that they want to create their own online identity. They want to play the game the way they want to play it, make it their own. So we're going to give them the tools and the resources necessary to do that. environment. And then socialization is another big aspect of gaming. It's not like the antisocial gamer, right? It's not the stereotypical, it's not that stereotype that people like to portray to gaming. It's actually a very social thing. I play every night with a big group of people, and it's like we are having a blast. It's just like they were over on my couch and we were just throwing back beers, right? Well, not just like it, but you get the idea.
Right.
The point is, you know, it's a very social thing, and it lives even outside of the game. So it's not just what's happening on the playing field. It's also what's happening in the lobbies. Are you matchmaking with just one friend? Are you matchmaking with a group of people? Are you playing in some online tournament? There's so much of a social element to the game now, and then there's also this like living and breathing social ecosystem that lives around the gaming industry in general, and all of that we want to sort of foster and harness. So we're going to be putting the necessary hooks into the game to make that awesome.
And you're the director of all this media and stuff like that in the community, so you're getting all the feedback and kind of making those decisions yourself?
I'm kind of on the front lines there, and I get to bring that back to the team, and the team really values that, and they lean on me a lot for the community input, and a lot of that stuff that I'm reading about every game, not just Call of Duty World at War, every game, not only in the franchise but other franchises as well. I'm reading up all of the feedback and soaking it in and making sure that we're making hopefully the very perfect shooter game you could ever want.
Awesome. And environments, are they destructible in this game somewhat, or how does that work?
Yeah, at the end of the World at War, we itemized a list of engine components that we wanted to really enhance. So texture streaming's built in now. We completely rebuilt the lighting system from the ground up. This dynamic world relative lighting stuff, and just between the shaders, the physics, and the destructibility, all that stuff's been overhauled significantly since World at War.
Awesome.
And so it's not like a fully destructible world like other games have. It's not anything like that, but where destruction makes sense and where it's going to look awesome, destruction will be there.
Right. Awesome. Yeah. So your games are always very cinematic, and a lot of the feel, pulls you right in emotionally. In the single player campaign, are you following like this small little like band of special op agents that are going to be going through the entire game together, or is that kind of spin off a lot? Or?
And again, not to spoil too much, but you'll be primarily playing as two characters, Mason and Hudson, and they will have sort of their own teams, and they may or may not encounter each other as well. There's a lot to the single player campaign, but yes, you will be playing as part of Black Ops teams as they go through these various covert missions around the world.
Right, so like two special Black Ops teams that are kind of like having branching kind of stories at the same time, where you're kind of putting that, without giving too much away, hint, hint, hint.
You will find out come November, that's for sure.
And a multiplayer, can you go over kill streaks or anything like that you guys are doing? Because
Because
World of War was a very balanced game, in my opinion, multiplayer. I really enjoyed that. It was things weren't too overpowered. The kill streaks, in Modern Warfare 2 sometimes just got a little overbearing, and I thought you guys did that very well.
Thank you.
I didn't know if you could comment on any of that you guys are trying to balance in terms of kill streaks and
well,
like that.
I can say that anything that we do, we're going to spend an enormous amount of time and energy on balancing it. We know we need to make it balanced. World at War, we had this little hubbub over the MP40 and Juggernaut, and these are things from World at War and feedback that we listen to, and we're going to make sure that we're incorporating in Black Ops. So.
And in terms of servers and stuff like that, Modern Warfare was very plagued by a lot of hacking and stuff like that was happening. How are you guys going to go about trying to stop these people from doing that?
A lot of that is console hacking, more so than game hacking.
Right.
But any security measures that we can put in, we are putting in, and we are going to be stepping that up a whole nother level as well for Black Ops. So basically across the board, anything that we can make better, we're going to with this game, and we actually have the resources to now that we're 100%. Our studio's only focused on Black Ops.
Right.
So
what is your favorite new feature that you've added to this game?
My favorite new feature is probably that controllable helicopter. It's bar none. It's the most cinematic experience I've ever had in a video game, and certainly it's just fun to blow everything up. Like if you go through the level and you don't blow up every single structure in sight, then you lose major cool points with me because that's just a waste.
Right. Well, when.
Great.
Yeah. So when is this game coming out, and on what consoles?
Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops will be available on the Xbox 360, the PlayStation 3, the PC, and the Wii. It'll be available November 9th, and for the PC gamers out there, we are going to be supporting dedicated servers.